What is going on, my baboon brothers, my simian sisters? The DJs here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay analysis. Today, we're continuing the tournament series, and actually, we're looking at my own tournament game. It's been a hot minute since I reviewed some of my own tourney games, so it should be an interesting one. Anyway, so today we're going to be looking at the A Mariner Cup 4. For all of you that don't know, the A Mariner Cup is the Advanced Wars by Web Premier Standard Tournament. So this is actually taken from round 1 of the A Mariner Cup 4, and I find myself against a familiar name, Steezer. I actually looked at one of his games in the nutty lower level series when he was around an 800, 900 level player. Now he's a 1300 level player. I'm proud of him, and I was happy to see his name again, but then I was also like, uh-oh, I'm placing a 1300 in round 1? That's not good. So the tiering worked out, or the seeding worked out where I faced Steezer, and so I was happy and sad at the same time to be facing a great opponent in the first round. Anyway, the map right here we're facing off on is called Darkling Woods. It is a mixed base map. I have not had a mixed base map like this in quite a while. You have 2 bases up in this corner over here at each side. Then you also have 1 airport, 1 base, 1 airport, 1 base spread out evenly. So in total you have 4 bases and 2 airports, which is kind of wild. But it's kind of hard to determine where the weak side is on this map. I'll go into detail later on as we go through the map. You have 2 labs, so instead of HQ, if you lose both your labs, you lose the game. If you lose one, you're fine. As long as you keep 1 lab alive, you're good to go. There's also 4 comm towers total, so each side should technically get 2 comm towers each. Medium-ish income, I think it's around like 2200 total, so a little bit low actually for mixed base, but this is also a tier 2 matchup, although I found a lot of Kindle and a lot of Lash play on this map because they're actually really good in mixed base maps. For all of you that don't know, mixed base maps, you have a lot more early fighting than normal maps, so a lot more early fighting means day-to-day powers matter even more. Superpowers and normal powers don't matter as much, where it's really about the day-to-day. Von Bolt shines, Kindle shines, Lash shines, Max shines as well. You don't see as much Eagle, who relies on his powers. You don't see as much Olaf, Drake, etc. You see a lot more of these COs that can really beat you in the day-to-day because you're going to be fighting day 4, day 5, etc. So getting an early advantage just by having stronger infantry, stronger units is crucial. Because Lash, she has the terrain advantage, so every single engagement, there's not that many roads. She's going to have at least 10% extra firepower compared to me, basically. On a city, 30%. Forest, 20%. Not to mention the movement bonuses for her powers. But I chose Max because there's 2 airports and battlecopters look exceedingly well on this map. So that's why I chose Max. In retrospect, I think I should have picked either Lash or Kindle. I think both of them are actually better. There was a lot of hive mind going on when choosing the COs and everyone was picking Max. So I was like, I don't even want to think about the match. I'll just pick Max because Olaf is not going to do well. Eagle's not going to do well. So I was like, okay, let's choose Max. But Lash, as Steezer showed me, has a lot of play. Kindle has a lot of play as well. Just winning these infantry engagements is huge. So anyway, without further ado, let's start the match. Steezer at the top in the black hole, in the black, and I'm over here in the reddies. So first things first, in mixed base, I often don't go for the contested properties as much early as the safe properties because income is that much more important. You want to be pumping out units and vehicles every single turn. You really don't want to base skip, so I'm just getting whatever's closest. Some people have skipped to get this cap over here as red or vice versa as black, but I'm just going for the easy caps here. I'm going to capture this and I'm going to capture that. I'm not going for this chain over here. I'm not going for this little feisty property over here. I'm going for whatever I can as soon as possible to get as much income as possible. Likewise, I'm not going over here to get one of these 2 early caps. I'm getting the easy income first because I want to have my first tank able to afford that at the right time, be it battlecopters, etc. So pretty standard so far, nothing out of the ordinary. We're both going for the safe caps. He kind of mirrored me, or he might have done it himself. So here's where the first thing I think Steezer messed up a little bit. This 2 base in the corner, I don't think you want to be building vehicles from it. It's a little bit harder to reinforce to the middle. You have a forest here, and yeah, you can sit on this city over here. It's not really that great positioning. I would much rather see Steezer build a tank from this city over here and this over here, which is kind of counterintuitive because they're the weak bases, because there's only 1 base on either side over here, 1 base in an airport rather than 2 bases. The thing about these 2 bases, it's not really 2 bases because reinforcing this over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, gets you over here with a tank. That's not really a great reinforce. maybe if this tank or this mountain right here was missing, it'd be a better reinforced, but like shifting both over here doesn't really make much sense, and shifting both over here really doesn't make much sense either. So you find that this base goes down over here, and this base goes to the side over here. So it's not really a 2 base after all. It just looks like it because they're in close proximity, but the terrain really makes it hard for them to actually reinforce each other. So seeing that, I saw that tank built there, and I was like, whew, that's good. I was going to build a tank over here anyway. Now I have a perfect excuse to build one. So I built a tank here, obviously, as a reaction. If he didn't build that tank right here, I still would have built a tank from the city right here. So kind of just justified what I was going to do anyway. But we're pretty even so far on what we're doing. The thing is, when it comes to the infantry fights over here, he's going to win those. He attacks from a mountain, he's going to have 40% firepower from that mountain. And I'm not going to be able to get these properties as easily as he's able to get these properties over here. So Lash, technically, should be winning the income war the entirety of the match. Lash and Kindle should be winning the income war, whereas Max should be more relying on the combat of the tanks and his CO powers. So I'm honestly happy to split income if it comes to that. Not too many deviations so far. Go for the comm tower, really go for this cap over here. Actually attack into his tank over here. I do not have a comm tower yet, so I have 20% firepower, but it should be a good engagement for me. He was unable to get the tank chain over here by virtue of the first turn advantage. So he gets the first tank, but he also doesn't get the second tank. He gets the first tank, and he gets the fourth tank, and I get the second and third tank, just for first turn balancing. So pretty usual so far. I get a good engagement over here. He can't really fight into this. I mean, he could attack into me right here, probably knock me down to either a 4 or a 3, probably down to a 3 actually with the comm tower, and then build a tank right here. And if I attack back into it, I can't attack from this forest and then block with the other tank, so it's actually a pretty good engagement. He should attack me right here, but he actually doesn't, which kind of surprised me, and I was happy to see that. Kind of pulls back and heals. I'm like, all right. And he's going to build another tank over here, so I forced a tank chain. Thing about this map that everyone has been asking in chat, everyone's been asking in the Discord, where's the weak base? In mixed base, like, where's the base I gotta beat up? Like, do I just, like, spam an attack over here? Like, the thing I like about this map, and I love this map, there is no obvious weak base. I've seen games where this base falls as black. I've seen games where this base falls as black, or, mirrored on red, etc. Sometimes in the corners over here as well. Like I said, in the 2 base area. There is no set standard, which is why I love this map. A lot of mixed base maps, oh sure, there's a weak base and it always gets overcome and the opponent overcomes your weak base. Not for this map. And what I did in this map, I played this game pretty well, I would like to say. I didn't spend as much time on it as I would like, because it kind of took a live aspect at a certain time. And we'll get to that point later, but I liked how I began the game, I should say. So at the beginning, I took this tank engagement, I was like, what do I do? Am I going to attack into this? Is this where I'm going to try to overcome him? And I had a little change of heart. I actually decided, okay, I'm going to move this tank south, because this is a free kill right here. He interrupted me. Not free, he stopped my cap. But now I'm basically saying he cannot attack me over here without paying the price of a tank, and I believe I front shift this tank down south as well as backup, and I build a copter. So now I have 2 tanks and a copter defending this infantry. This tank is kind of a soft defense since I have to heal it as well. Copters, like I said, are incredibly important on this map. You want to have the first copter if possible. It's not the end of the world if you have the second copter, but copters are so damn good, specifically from this airport. The thing is, this is the noob trap. I build a copter. A lot of people respond by, okay, they build an anti-air here, they build an anti-air here. That's the noob trap. You're like, well, TJ, I didn't need to build an anti-air. What are you talking about? The thing is, you don't want to build an anti-air immediately. You want to see where this copter commits. If it goes south here, build an anti-air here. If it goes up north here, you build an anti-air there. If he builds an anti-air here, I'm going to go south. And he's going to have to build 2 anti-air. Even if he builds an anti-air here, I'm going to go north. So might as well wait. I show my intention of where I'm going to go, and then you react, or else you're going to be building 2 anti-airs for every copter that I make. So think about that. There's a common way of reacting. Oh, copter, gotta build an anti-air. Let him commit first. I understand it's the first inclination for a lot of people, and I've seen that so many times on this map. People have actually lost because they had too many anti-air and not enough tanks because they overreacted to the first copter. And you can also build copters in the corner over here. put some damage over here, they build an anti-air over here, then you shift south over here, but it's not as effective because there is an airport over here that can pretty easily defend. This one's a little more in the corner, so it's a little harder to fight back copter to copter, but it's possible. Anyway, he goes for this property over here. I'm not going to be able to stop that. I'm not going to be able to stop this as well. There's just too strong infantry on that property. He's probably going to get this property. Here I'm going to probably be able to interrupt because there's a silo here that's a pretty favorable engagement. He brings his tank over. I think he thought I was going to interrupt, but there's no way in hell I'm interrupting that. And he falls into the trap. I saw this. It's like, yes, he did it. He built the anti-air. Now I'm going south for the winner, boys. So I saw that. I was happy. Free hit on my infantry. I didn't have any plan for that really, but I think my goal was to overcome this base. At this point in the game, I couldn't quite reach that tank, but I wanted to overcome this base. I was like, I'm gonna rush this base. Let's test it out. Or not necessarily. I thought I was gonna overrun the base. More so, I was just poking at it. See how weak it is. I can attack with a tank right here, and we'll see what he gets. So he builds an infantry here. I'm like, okay, this might be my goal over here. Overrun this corner, get the comm tower, and win. And you might notice something too. He had to base skip here because of the anti-air. If that was a tank, he could have built an infantry here. And in mixed base, unit count is so important. I know unit count matters in all Advanced Wars games, but particularly in mixed base, every infantry matters, every capture matters that much more. It's multiplied. Everything is on steroids. It's day 6, we're already having a ton of engagements. Like I said in previous videos, mixed base is basically just expediting an Advanced Wars game. It's like any other game except it's ×2 as fast. It should be like day 12 you have this amount of engagements, but it's day 6. Anyway, I saw that base skip and I saw the anti-air. I was like, okay, I have a clear, decisive advantage at this point. I have to capitalize on this. So I put my infantry over here. I don't even think I built a tank over here. I kill off that infantry. I go for the cap. That's going to be mine. He kind of sacked another infantry for just interrupting me for a turn. So I'm loving my positioning so far. I am very happy with how this game is going. I couldn't really ask for a better start, to be perfectly honest. And Steezer, he's feeling the hurt. But he kills me over here. At least he's winning his wars that he should win as Lash. You know, you should be winning the infantry wars as Lash. Let's not kid ourselves. He's got 30% firepower compared to my 0 as max from the cities. He's starting to airport lock me, so this is going to be the last battlecopter that comes from that airport, probably for a long time, until I kill that anti-air. So it's very easy to airport lock. That's another thing notable about this map. Airport lock from the south over here, or you can airport lock from the north. This is the best airport for producing copters, but also the hardest one to produce copters from. This one is very defended. Look how defended this one is from any airport lock. You're going to be able to build copters there easily, but they're not as good and as well positioned. You can't front shift as easily. So I believe he builds a copter over here. He has a copter-to-copter defense. I do not have enough for a power, so I'll not be able to reach that. If I am able to get a power, though, I will one-shot that copter, and the game is mindful. It'll be over at that point. But he blocks with the wall anyway, even if I try to sack for a power, so it's not happening. I'm able to get some properties. I'm doing pretty good. Up income, or am I up in? Yeah, I'm up income versus Lash, and I can't complain at all about that. He's going to get this property, and I might not get this property. But I was able to get 1 of 2 over here. He's probably going to get 1 of 2 over here. He has this little one over here, and I don't have that one. That's where has the advantage. He has an advantage on this property right there, but it's not the end of the world. But because he base skipped, he has 2 infantry over here. I have 4. He can stop interrupting me for a turn, but I'm going to beat the ever-living shit out of him if he does. Probably not worth it. I even have so many over here. I had 4. I was like, hey, I'm going to bring this over here and threaten that property. I'm going to threaten the lab. I have infantry advantage in spades over here, which is really nice. I can bring one back also to get the comm tower. It really hurts to base skip, and that all cascaded from that anti-air over there that cost 8k instead of 7k. So remember, don't base skip in Advanced Wars. Really don't base skip in mixed base. Do yourself a favor. Get another kill over here. I am doing it really well in the kill to death ratio. Let's look at the stats. Oh, it's 2-4. I thought it was more like 5-0 at this point. So I've lost 2. I also front shift my tank over here. I see 2 tanks over here. I'm just kind of poking around, to be honest. I could have shifted this south, but I saw this and I was like, that looks kind of hard to push. You can just build another tank and another copter next turn, and I won't really be able to push in. So I saw this hardened defensive structure, and I had a Brain Blast. I was like, similarly to how the copter over here forces an anti-air, I forced a defensive reaction over here, and I'm going to move this way. Instead of an anti-air coming here and I move my copter south, now I am forcing a defensive reaction over here, and I'm shifting over here. So this basically was a big feint, a boxing feint. You do a little jab, and they're like, ugh. The jab doesn't hurt though, it's just, you have to react to it. The real punch comes after the jab. You have to deal with the jab, and then the real punch comes after. And this is the real punch. Look at this now. This is the real punch. 2 tanks, copter, 3 tanks really, are coming towards this base, careening. He has 2 infantry here. 3 infantry and this one capping, basically. 4 infantry tops, if you want to be generous. I am going to one-shot his copter if he builds it. In another turn, my tank is going to reach his base. I have infantry advantage over here. This tank is also coming down as well. Soon it's going to be 4 tanks and a copter for this base. And this is so out of position. What can he even do with this tank? Attack my infantry that's already captured a property? Move it up north here? Like, you can't even move it up north here, right there. My tank will respond. So I really gave him a feint there. He's like, oh, don't hurt me. And then I went for the gut punch and he was like, oh. So I felt really good about this move. This was an A+ move. I gotta give myself credit sometimes. I make a lot of dumb decisions, but I was really proud of this move. This is how you play the map. There is no dedicated base to overrun. You have to prod around, look for a weakness, and when there's a weakness, you strike. And you have to strike quickly. It's not like, oh, there's a weakness, I'll give myself a few turns. There is a moment. If he has an extra turn over here to get a copter, and this copter's like over here, he's gonna build one and he's gonna be perfectly fine. So you have to really strike at the right moment. You have to have timing and you have to have positioning. Both of those things are crucial. Because he's gonna be getting this property. He's probably gonna be getting, he already got this property over here. Probably gonna get this one up top over here. Lash is starting to win the income war as she should. Hell, she's probably gonna be capping my comm tower soon, and it's gonna be hard to stop that. Actually, there was something really notable about this turn. There was something Steezer missed here. And I'll tell you what it was. Steezer captures the comm tower. The 5 HP kills the 2 HP. I cannot stop that. He immediately gets my comm tower, and it's going to be hard for me to get it back. He will have 2 comm towers to 0 comm towers with that. So instead of 30% firepower from these cities, they have 50% firepower. His tanks are strong as my tanks, if not stronger on any terrain. I was super happy he didn't just skip this cap, capture the comm tower, kill off my 2 HP unit. The tank can't reach with that infantry blocking. It's impossible to stop that. I was so happy to see he did not do that comm tower swindle. Instead, a lot of people, they kind of just like, they start their game, they reload their page, capture. Before you capture anything, look at the possibilities you have. Remember that. Remember. So I was so thankful he didn't see that. I made a mistake. I didn't have enough things in position, but I was so thankful I didn't get comm tower swindled. That could have really altered the course of this game. I wouldn't resign, obviously. It's a bad thing, and I probably could retake it. It would take a while, though, but I probably could retake it. You might be able to lock it with, like, an artillery where I never get it back, but it's not the end of the world, because I'll get this comm tower, and it'll be like 3 comm towers to 1 comm tower. Not great, but it's not game-ending, but it would have sucked. So I was really happy that didn't happen. He's pressuring me over here. He's going to get that one, probably. Kills off my infantry unit. He actually... Oh, okay. He didn't have enough anyway, so... Honestly, yeah, he could have just killed the 2. It would have been so easy. So I was really happy that happened. Builds an anti-air. Cool. To deal with my copter. That's fine. And he builds his own copter. He builds an anti-air and a copter. Now, here's where I don't agree with it. I don't think he should have built this build. This build doesn't really make that much sense to me, personally. I don't think he needs this... Like, he could have built a... I don't know. He's kind of screwed either way, but... I kind of like teching up to maybe a medium tank here. Sure, this copter is going to attack your medium tank or whatever, or like block or something. But maybe you build an anti-air next turn and your medium tank blocks something else. I don't know. It's a tricky position to be in. I have so much unit advantage over here, it's not even funny. Even blocking pathing is going to be incredibly easy for me, but... I mean, that's a free copter kill. Like, he built this anti-air and like this anti-air, and I'm going to get a copter for copter trade. He's going to have 2 anti-air that just can't do anything after that. So that's a really good trade for me. Like I said, because he didn't capture my comm tower, I get this nice 2-hit KO right there, Gagoonga. And look, I am in position to capture his base, to capture his airport. And he puts his tank over here in range over here. That was a little reckless, I think. I think he was just like babooning it a bit. But this is going incredibly well for me so far. I'm picking off units where I can. I could have shifted this tank over here, but I kind of assessed that I didn't really need that much support more. And I build my anti-air over here, and I build a mech. I could have built an anti-air down here to deal with the copter, but I wanted an anti-air here to airport lock him. I didn't want him to build another copter. So, and I built a recon. Recons are actually really good in the sides over here. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like getting a tank over here is not that easy. He's got so many infantry, and I need to save money. Mixed base recons are typically better because it's a lot about saving money and how much money you have. So wherever you can save money and do the same amount of work, like this is just as good as a tank if it's just fighting infantry, really. There's no point in having a tank if there's no other vehicles. So this recon is going to be a great defender. So I love that recon build by me. I'm praising myself a little too much maybe, but it's true. So he's pressuring me over here, which is a little concerning. Pressuring me in this corner over here, but I'm really scaring him over here. I'm going to capture this property too. Let's not forget about that. But a power is coming soon. He might be using his terrain tactics. Tank comes in, gets a hit, but I'm going to win this tank war as well. His tanks are, that one's doing something. Copter doesn't really know what to do. Now he's trying to sandwich to me over here. I'm like, okay. I think I would have moved this tank up in here though. If he's trying to sandwich me, I don't really like this tank attacking the 6 HP here. It doesn't really coordinate with his other moves too well. Kills my copter, builds another copter, so I'm glad I built this anti-air right here. However, he missed one big tactic here. Honestly, maybe you build a medium tank this turn. And, because there's no more copters to deal with, so I would have built a medium tank. But I think he makes a crucial mistake right here. Builds a copter and an infantry. The main issue is that infantry. He needed to build a tank. Hell, he could have combined units over here maybe to get a medium tank. He has to have a vehicle because you'll see why this is it's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it for a few reasons. You'll see in 1 second. There's a really good tactic. I don't know if you guys can see it right here, but there's a tactic to take over the base. It was the first thing I saw. I do this stuff over here first anyway, but tactic, it's coming. Beep beep. Also, another reason for the recon, putting on this comm tower because the last superpower is coming. He's going to put 1 to capture, 1 to block. Just like I said earlier, he can really easily swindle this comm tower. I almost let it happen earlier. Well, I did let it happen. It didn't happen though. He didn't notice it. But if he didn't notice it before, he's definitely going to notice it now. So I'm like, beep beep. No, not allowing that. I know a superpower is coming. But here's the tactic. Don't attack the anti-air. But this mountain, he forgot about the mountain attack. And he's base locked. He's base locked. There is no way to save this base. No way to save it. Build an anti-air over here. Little infantry fights. His base is lost. A lot of people would have resigned right here. And I actually expected to resign. Caesar took a few days, as you can notice. It's 11. I think it might... No, it doesn't update. Anyway, he waited a few days to make this move. Before we were doing pretty quickly. And he kept playing. I was like, I've won. I have your base. I'm going to have 5 bases, and you're going to have 3. Like, game over. What are you doing? I got a little too cocky. Caesar. Like I said, this guy's a competent man. He knows what he's doing. You'll see what happens. You'll see what happens. I was very proud of my starts. However, Caesar reminded me, why is it 1300 now and not a 900 like he used to be? He made a mistake with the anti-air over here earlier. Granted, I understand. And he made another mistake here because, like, it has to commit, remember? These things don't matter to the commit. Anyway. Weakens my infantry. Make sure that I can't get the base. A noob trap right here for me. Oh, capture with the 7 HP. No, the copter's going to kill it. So you have to make sure everything is completely held, and I attack with here because I know a superpower is coming. I don't want to give up that property too easily. It's not a great place to have your copter up here where it's not doing anything. It's kind of like cornered by this anti-air, and it's not really doing anything other than guarding that property, which is not great. I mean, it's also defending these units over here at the bottom area, but and he also allows a copter kill here, which is a little dubious. But I make some dumb moves. Let's not forget, I'm capable of doing very dumb things. So I capture the property. I block around it. He can still... No, he can't stop that cap. I mean, I'm at 9 HP, so it's going to take 2 more turns to capture it. But that copter basically has to, like, shift over here, or else it's doomed. But there's starting to be a tank proliferation over here. And all my tanks are over here. And I'm kind of cut off. He's paying the troll toll. I'm not paying the troll toll. He's kind of guarding this bridge. How else am I going to get over here than taking one of these bridges? This is the best bridge to take, but he's kind of guarding it well with this base. It's within 1 turn base reinforce, and he has a superpower coming. I built a medium tank because I'm getting a little wary of all these infantry. It kind of reminds me of my own issue over here. I shifted all my tanks over there, and now they have to come back to rescue me because they're really out of position to defend. They were on the offensive. They did what they needed to do, but now they need to shift back. And I'm getting a little worried, so I built a medium tank. And I'm starting a mech chain over here because I'm cool. I did this. I put my infantry on top of the airport. I weaken that because I know a superpower, if he starts capping that, I'm screwed. Screwed like Scrooge McDuck. Prime tactics. Superpower coming in for Lash. Not looking too great in terms of unit count and unit value and even income. So Lash is kind of behind on everything. Like I said, I was on top of the world. Oh, Steezer, why haven't you resigned yet? I mean, I didn't say that in chat, obviously. I'm not an asshole. But I was thinking to myself, why hasn't this guy resigned yet? I'm going to win this. But Steezer, he ain't no geezer. Boonga. Pretty good trade right there. Gonna capture my lab easily. That's a one-shot 100%. Shifts the copter over. That's a one-shot. And now the swarm of Steezer units over there is coming. I mean, I have a medium tank. But there's also another thing I didn't address about this map, which is why I don't really like Max in the end. Artillery. Artillery are really good for base rushing, and honestly, if you build a medium tank here, how do I kill that? You need copter spam or something, but like, artillery are how you base rush and base lock. Max doesn't have artillery, or if he does, they're really shitty and you should never buy them. They have 1 or 2 range, excuse me. Lash has access to artillery. Kindle has access to artillery. That shit's scary. And Caesar starts spamming artillery soon, and things get really dire really quickly. So I'm going to get this base, no problem. Medium tank comes in. Poof, got it. Another medium tank comes in. Feeling pretty decent. This turn, I made some really bad moves. This turn, day 11, like I said, I was on top of the world. Oh, I've won. Oh, I got my 2 medium tanks over here. I've captured the base. I've won. I have income advantage, property, or income advantage, property advantage, money advantage. Those are all the same thing. But I have income advantage, unit count, etc. You know what I mean? Feeling confident. Cocky, I would say. Not confident, cocky. Overconfident. I make a really dumb move right here. Watch this. Tank attacks that 3 HP. Because I really want to reinforce. I'm freaking out over here. I really want to reinforce, but I just put these out in the open. These are just free-sitting ducks. Watch what he just does to I gave up 3 tanks, basically, or 2 tanks, basically. It was just dumb. Watch him. Boom. Down to 4 HP. Boom. Down to 3 HP. For what? What did they even do? They can't reinforce now. They're weak little shits. I can't even heal on that tile because he's going to be taking it over. That made no sense. I sacked 2 tanks for nothing. It's a pretty big income swing if you think about it. I need every unit I can over here. As soon as I saw this play unfold, I was like, I am an idiot. Am I actually going to like blow this? Am I going to lose this base too? And I was like, oh my god. I need to stop being so stupid and cocky. And now look at this. I'm airport locked. I'm airport locked and there's a Neo tank coming. My base is sort of locked as well. Luckily, thank the Lord, this 5 HP tank. If this wasn't here, it's good game for this base. Because I have to do something. Attack either one of these or the other, and it's stuck on the base, and I'm base locked. This tank, medium tank over here, is stuck too. Look at it. What a great joy of choices to choose from. Thankfully, this 5 HP is alive. Oh my god. I'd be so screwed if it wasn't. And now this is 1 HP. Yeesh. Who needs anti-air over here when you have an airport lock via a copter? So now Lash is ahead in income and ahead in unit value temporarily. I was like, okay. Well, not any more income. But boom, I needed that so bad. You have no idea how bad I needed that. Boom. Boom. I'm just trying to fight off as long as possible. The reinforce is no longer coming from over here. It's going to come from here or just bare bones survival, if it's possible. Another medium tank. This is probably the most medium tanks I've ever built in a game. I don't like medium tanks, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Over here, I don't like doing it, but I need all the income I can get. Copter's on babysitting duty, I guess. Also, notice the thing, he hasn't captured this comm tower, so I actually have an advantage in terms of firepower for my vehicles, and infantry, really. But I guess we're on equal footing when you consider all the properties, the terrain bonuses that Lash has, so. I send this over here. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know, I'm throwing units away because I'm so desperate, but these are both gonna die. I really hated my last turn, and this turn isn't that much better. I freaked out, but I also was not playing well this turn either. And I'm just mech spamming, I'm feeling Operation Mech Storm, like Days of Plague. Things are looking a little dicey. I'm technically ahead, but it's not looking great. And that Neotank is scary as hell. He's gonna capture that property. Bye-bye anti-air. Or close enough. Neotank comes in. Vroom. The golf ball of doom. He's going to capture that with the terrain tactics, no doubt. Boom. He allows the airport to be open, but I don't really have... he has 2 copters, so I can't really stop that. Captures the airport, starts capturing it, kills off my tank. Now all I have is medium tanks, and they can't do shit to copters. So, there's one thing I have in my favor, and now the artillery spammage begins. Honestly, if he did this earlier, it would have been even worse for me. I'm glad it took him this long to realize that, because I think I would have lost his base a lot earlier if he started spamming artillery. That would have been much scarier. Artillery are really overpowered when you're trying to base rush. So, brings in his units. But I'm winning. I basically won everything across this river. Everything across the river is mine, which is a lot of money. That's a huge income advantage. Temporarily, granted. One thing I have, though, my powers. So I use them. One shot. Wait, what? That's not a one shot? I have 2 comm towers. Damn. Okay. Anyway, that's gonna hurt. And then I capture this. Well, that's a one shot, though. Bonk. And that's my property, baby. Boomba. So I sneak a property. That's a deado. The issue is these copters. How do I deal with these copters? Because if I build an anti-air here, that's going to get one shot by the Neo, and he's going to capture my base with a superpower or a power, and I lose the base. It is out of the question to build an anti-air here. I cannot build an anti-air. Whatever anti-air, I can put a Neo tank or a medium tank here maybe, but I'm also dealt with an issue here. How do I interrupt this cap? Whatever I interrupt with is going to die to that Neo tank. Because once that Neo tank attacks from an airport, that's 38% extra firepower. That's going to be an ouchie. That's going to be a big ouchie. So that's dead. Honestly, maybe I should put this medium tank on top of the airport, but I wanted to kill off this tank. I built a copter. Now this was dumb. I kind of realized afterward, I was like, that's going to one-shot me. So I can stop it, maybe? I couldn't stop it. These 2 copters are going to gangbang my copter. It's another stupid decision. I am letting him back in the game here. I was winning. And now I'm still slightly winning. Let's not get myself wrong. I still like my position better than his. But I combine also so I can get the medium tank. Now I have built 4 medium tanks. What have you, man. I don't know. I'm just being desperate. Had to triple base skip in order to get that medium tank. But that copter is dead. That copter is 100% dead. He's inching back on the income. Thankfully, I'm able to capture this property, though, with that little shenanigans. Boom, bong. Bong! That's without any power at all. With defense from my super. Without my defense from the super, that's probably a one-shot. And then this is coming in. My mech storm over here is cute, but it's not going to really hold for that long. It's not a threat offensively. It's a good defensive. Mechs are good for defense, not good for offense. I'm trying to push over here. It's not really going to work out that well, probably. But now, the artillery spam. Oh my god. Yeah, this is looking really dire. So I got this disjointed medium tank over here. This 1 HP and then 2 medium tanks. God help me. God help me. Boom. I just weaken these infantry because I'm like, I don't know. I don't want him to capture this property. Whatever. I attack into the medium Neo tank, and thankfully, because I have 2 comm towers and a max, it's actually a very favorable engagement. I neutralize the Neo tank basically. Boom, boom. I can rest easy from that. The new threat, the 2 artillery, and the copters streaming from the north. Or from the south, up north. That's scary. I built an anti-air. I'm starting to commit over here, so I have my first vehicle of the entire match from this base over here. Like I said, these are disjointed 2 bases. They're separate, really. Strong bases are the ones where you pump out units. I'm being under attack under one of my favorite bases, but whatever. My mechs are in position. Steezer the Geezer. Prime tactics. Superpower incoming. This can be scary. I remember after the game, Nightmare of Hienku, or whatever, Steezer had a really good tactic he could have done this turn, but he missed out on it. Similarly to how he missed out on this comm tower. Like I said, he's a 1300 level player. Sometimes he makes genius brain moves. Other times he makes 800 level moves. That's just the life of a 1300 level player, or any player really. You make some baboon moves. You make some, brain blast moves. He had a really strong setup, but luckily he didn't find it for me. I might post what Nightmare of Hienko showed me, but it could have been a lot worse. This hurt, but it's ended in a retreat, basically. He had to retreat. And then I get 2 hits with mechs over here. This is a very defensive artillery. I thought he was going to go in this forest over here and, base lock me. Very defensive. So this turn, and notice, I'm below on unit count. I have an extra base and airport. I have 3 airports and 5 bases, and I'm behind on units. How is that possible? I'll tell you how it's possible. Sloppy playing. Oh my god, I play like such a schlopster. Like red schlopster. Look how defensive these are. Oh my god, you hate to see it. I mean, I love to see it facing him, but also that's in range. This is a free kill right there. And because he backed off, I can build an anti-air now. I am safe. I can build a copter. Hell, I think I may even enjoy building an anti-air or an infantry here. Infantry. I'm feeling safe enough I can capture this property. I'm feeling good. It was at this point when he backed up, I was like, I think I just win now. I have 8k income advantage. This threat is over. What can he even do? I don't feel threatened anymore, and Caesar resigns. I think Caesar played pretty damn well, but there was a few places where he had me choking, and he just couldn't do it. He had me by the neck. I was like, and he'd back off. I was like, oh, okay. One example was turn 15. Could have been so devastating. I'll show the thing that Nightmare showed me. Really good tactics. Damage over here and big damage over there. Didn't do it. Other instance. Right here, day 8. Could have gotten the comm tower. Didn't get it. Oh, thank God. Few instances where I was on the ropes, about to die, didn't finish me off. But I'm like a cockroach, baby. Is that even a good analogy? I don't know. I'm a lizard. A lizard. You cut off its limb and you let it live, it grows back. I'm like a lizard. I'm a lizard monkey. Ever heard of that? Animorphs, baby. Anyway, so Caesar had some moments he could have killed me off, but the takeaway from this game and the takeaway from this map, prod around. Don't commit too heavily. Don't commit with your anti-airs, first off, when you see the copters. Wait for them to show you where they're going first before you commit, because that led to a base skip. Don't base skip. Rule 2. Don't commit too early. Don't base skip. Number 3, don't commit too hard to an area. Oh, I gotta get this over here. Prod around like I did. Prod for weakness. Prod around. That's a hard wall. I can't break through that. I'm gonna keep looking around to something weak. That's weak. That's weak. Boom, boom, boom. It's mine. Don't commit too hard. This is why this map, I love this map. It's one of my favorite maps I've played in a long time. Even though I have a little bad memories because I played so stupid and sloppily at the end, I kind of was angry at myself after. I was like, how did I play like such an idiot and still win? But I had a good start. I was very happy with how the game started, but I love this map. It's a lot of fun. It's a great mixed base. Whoever created this map, was it Daddy Maxack who made this map, I think? Whoever made this map should be proud. I really enjoyed this map. It was a lot of fun. And a lot of different ways these games have go. I've seen every single base has been base rushed and like overcome. Like it's anyone's guess. You prod around till you find something that's weak. There's not a written script. This is not like a game where, oh, that's always going to fall. This is always going to fall. No, it's not like that. I love this map. I had a great time playing this. I love seeing how much Steezer improved. Like, I was proud of the dude. I didn't want to face him. Back when he was the Netty lower level series, I was like, who's this guy? I'm making fun of him. I didn't want to face this guy. When I saw his new rating and I saw his games, I was like, holy shit, this guy's good. He's near 1,400 now. He had my respect, man. Anyway, well played by Steezer. He had some really good moments, and he had some parts where he just dropped the ball, but I think he played pretty well overall and should be proud of how he played. Props, man. I was happy to face him the first round. So yeah, on to round 2, which I'll be casting, because I really want to get involved in this tournament series this next time up. I got lazy in my other tournaments. I lost in round 1 in a couple tournaments just from pure laziness and apathy. I feel really invested now. I want to really win this. I think I can get to the finals. I think it can be like that Advanced or Discord Cup 11 where I got all the way to the finals to face Toulouse. I'm feeling as motivated then as I am now. So I'm ready to go. So stay tuned for the next tournament series entry. I had a lot of fun. Anyway, hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys were entertained. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.